We've had a lot of miscommunication.
4723 Cleveland Avenue Northwest.
It becomes very difficult to find for everybody. Yeah.
What's going on?
Okay. In 2018, I witnessed a human trafficking incident in Highland Park, and police were involved. I saw a lot of them through my doorway, so a lot of them I didn't get good looks at faces, but I heard voices, their voices.
When you living down there?
Yeah. My girlfriend's parents had run us out of house and home at the time. That's semi-resolved. Police still have used that as a way of getting in and threatening us, because we've still been trying to get out of the area.
That happened because it was the reason why we ended up in the projects to begin with, and why we did not feel
the why we didn't report. That's the whole matter. Now, almost every officer I saw outside of the door had a shaved head and shaved face. Probably wasn't you, honestly. None of them were black. None of them were women. Somebody had been shot, right? I heard the gunshot, and it was with a shotgun, and they tortured him right outside of my door, and then they went upstairs and they beat the woman that lived up there, and we believe that they were forced to stay in that apartment for trafficking reasons. So when she was taken to the hospital some months later after we moved up here, Castro was one of the officers that took her. When we had tried to report these people before the shooting had happened, Castro and Lot showed up. Lot was drunk, and they stank of weed and pot, and they told us, they're black, you're white, you're going to die, goodbye. And we were told that police have body cams, and that's why that couldn't have happened. But the problems have continued. So then I tried to report that her mom was...
What problems have continued?
Well, her mom was still being threatening, and still no one was taking a report, so I tried to report it last May, right? Castro and Lot came and picked me up, and, well, they forced me into a car. They didn't tell me I was arrested or anything. Hi. I've had some issues with him, but it may have been misunderstanding. I want to clarify that. That for a while we thought Myers was part of the problem. I tried to tell Myers about this when we moved up here, and he got very exacerbated and in my face in a way that he perceived as threatening. That being said, what I told him was shocking. If he really isn't down there, and if he really had nothing to do with it, I'm sorry I've offended him. We didn't have names of Castro or Lot. What happened is when I had to call on her mood has been destabilized by all of this. Obviously, both of us were tortured in the hospital. We weren't allowed to file any civil rights claims then when we were tortured there. We still weren't allowed to file anything. And she had been freaking out, but by the time Castro was here, she was starting to calm down. He wouldn't let her have water for an hour. They basically psychologically tortured her. 2 people showed up claiming to be crisis center, but we have no specific reason to believe that they were, or that they were actually sent and logged, because they wouldn't answer any questions, show any ID or anything. And she was taken in cuffs, told she was arrested, beaten, groped, and then when I called the police station, they told me it didn't happen, that Castro hadn't been sent. So we tried to report it, and I was told I could speak to Lieutenant Bosley, who I think I have spoken to before, and I don't really have any trust for too many other people in the middle given all of this, especially because some of the threatening behavior has been through trying to call just to reach. I was told to call him, and I'm being told that I'm being threatening for trying to do what I was told by sergeants to do. And, well, sure enough, her car caught on fire last night, and this morning I was told that...
Where was that at?
I was driving on the highway. I was getting onto the exit from Market onto 62, and as I accelerated, I noticed there was just a strange noise in the car, very loud rattling. So I pulled over, and the second I pulled over, the car started smoking, and then within like 120 seconds, the hood started bubbling up and flames just erupted.
When was that?
That was yesterday
About
at around like
7:30
7:30 at night, probably around maybe more like 8 at that point, honestly, or 8:30. It was really close to the end of my shift.
Yeah, and she does believe she may, not did, but may have seen an officer approach her car while she was at work in the store. We wouldn't be willing to testify that
Papa
because
John's.
we didn't get, nobody got a good look,
Was it like impounded?
It wasn't
You got the camera? There's nothing but ashes left. Everything burned.
You're saying the car burnt?
The car burned to nothing.
Yeah, the car is gone. Like, the car
it's
is...
ashes. The windshield's gone. It's crazy.
1 second.
This happened last night.
It was...
Up the brightness so we can see.
Okay, but the fire department responded?
Yeah, and 2 officers showed up, and this morning they told me that no report was ever made of a burning car last night.
Yeah, especially because I was very concerned that foul play may have been involved, especially because of everything that has been happening recently, the fact that I just saw a
And
police without any explanation just
A
show
common
up at work.
excuse that's been used by some individuals within the department is like, well, police don't do this. This wouldn't happen. And you can't be everybody. I'll agree with that last one. It can't. You're out here talking to me right now. You've not interrupted us. You've been very polite. And this is very disarming compared to other experiences we have had recently. So I agree. It can't be everyone. I very much agree. But I don't understand what's happening, and I just want to leave, and I'm pretty much being barred from that. My landlord has forged our lease so that we can't leave without falling into massive debt. We came in here with nothing. I didn't sign it, and I can prove that, because it doesn't even look like my signature.
What? There's a lot to
Yeah,
process
I
here.
Yeah, that's what I'm
understand.
trying to figure out was where to even
Are you saying
begin.
that no police responded to your car on fire yesterday?
There were police sent there, but they didn't seem to take any sort of a report that there might have been arson involved.
Especially when
based off
I
my
was
concerns,
supposed
even
to
when
have
I
talked
voiced
that
them
day to
the fire
Bosley
person
about
and when
threats from the
Yeah.
officer. Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to
Gotcha.
talk over you.
No, that's okay.
In our experience, when somebody's using their car and it catches on fire,
Okay.
I don't know how somebody could do something to the car which would cause that. That's
They could have loosened. We've done a little bit of research.
I
on
mean,
the
I
particular
assume they
defect.
meant it to
What you
catch
would have to
fire
do is-
faster, is my guess, personally.
Yeah.
But
the police don't handle arsons in general. There's a fire department
Fire
yeah,
department.
gotcha.
officer, bureau detective who
Okay.
does that. So
All
it
right.
wouldn't be something
Well,
with
and
us.
again,
so
that was a
if the
question
fire
they wouldn't
department-
answer for her at the time, and that tells us who we're supposed to continue with this, because they wouldn't give us anything.
Yeah, so it would be up to the arson investigator
wanna find
if he
out what-
decides to do
Right.
a report or if it is. It
Now,
seems
leaving
like
aside
a
the
maintenance
arson
issue.
because it's something that has happened on top of a prior developing problem,
It's a
Lot
symptom of
has
it.
been in the newspaper and in other news articles for some of the things he has done, and they are not that
Parked down
different
behind
than
you.
what happened to us. There were different instances, but it looks like basically when he gets caught doing something illegal, he reacts. Sometimes at other officers, according to the news. And that seems to be what has happened since he knows that we saw what we saw and that we're brave enough to try to report it.
Okay.
And I have spoken to the FBI, and Internal Affairs told me this matter is already under FBI review. That was weeks ago.
What are you guys calling for today?
They sent you out, and we told them that if it wasn't Bosley, we didn't want to...
Oh yeah, you called.
Yeah, I was just trying to
Today.
gather information on what has happened, and I've just been being screamed at.
Nothing new has occurred
No.
that you were trying to report.
No.
No,
Then
And
what
we
was
said
the-
that, and they
what-
wouldn't take that down.
Well, that's what I'm confused about. You said you have nothing new to report.
No, and I don't know why they sent 3 cars. Literally, we were told we would get to speak to Lieutenant Bosley, and we
What-
have not yet. I was told I would receive a call
What
from him
was the
day after
reason
day.
today that you needed to speak with Lieutenant Bosley?
Because our car caught on fire last night, we were already trying to speak to Bosley about threats from an officer which have been intermittent.
So you're just calling to update?
I'm trying to
From
say,
him?
they told me last night, Sergeant Smith told me last
told
night
us
to
to
call
call back.
Bosley, and this happened because I tried to call Bosley.
Okay, yeah. Because of the amount of calls that you guys
I
have
got
made,
you, but you asked me and I'm answering you directly.
Yeah,
That's all I can tell you.
I'm explaining to you why we're here.
Right. Well,
Instead
we're,
of
I guess,
IA,
exchanging information.
Yeah, they didn't know that they didn't think that there's any new information. You're telling me there's no new information. So
I don't know what they have and
sent
don't
us
is part of the problem. They
out
keep
here.
telling me they have
Yeah, a
things
lot
and
of
telling
them
me they
keep
don't,
saying
and I want
that
to
they
know.
have information, a lot of them don't, and like we're not receiving any consistency when we're trying to get. We just want answers as to what happened because we don't feel safe about.
Yeah, like,
things
screw that her
going
car
on.
caught on fire. Why was she thrown into a police car, cuffed, not told she was arrested? Why did basically the same thing without the cuffs happen to me 1 year earlier?
This is a mobile crisis.
I know who he
Because
is.
of the
and
amount of calls and the types of stuff, we're not trying to say it's not true, but from our perspective, it sounds like there may be some confusion. So that's why we're calling them out.
Yeah, because I,
in case they
just
need
like,
to assess you or something. If you weren't arrested, so I don't know what the situation was, but if the officers felt that there was a mental health issue going on and you were unwilling to go to the hospital, we have the...
she started freaking
Let me-
out because
let
she
me finish real
recognized the
quick.
officer from last time.
Okay, we have the ability to handcuff somebody and take them to the hospital to be evaluated if we think it is
Okay,
necessary.
well, I have
So that
paperwork
may have
proving at Altman
explained
that I
why
was
that happened.
overdosed on a medication I said I was allergic to. It says I was trying to make a report, and it says that I was denied the right to make the report. for no specific reason. And I was shipped off 3 hours away to somewhere called OHP, and I was tortured there. When I came back and tried to report that, my caseworker from Coleman threatened me. Now, I want to point out, too, I know you at least, the 2 women that came out here when Casto and the other officer were out here, they would not show any ID. They would not identify themselves. We did not see their car pull up.
We weren't there when that happened.
I understand, but I'm reporting what I saw.
I don't think it's a law that crisis has to identify themselves.
No, but again, we will be pressing charges for attempted murder, which is a pain. That's what sucks here is that I'm trying to get cooperation out of the department, and I'm not seeing any cooperation. Well, I shouldn't say any. I definitely shouldn't say not any cooperation out of the department. But we're seeing insufficient cooperation out of the department to even protect ourselves for what we saw.
And as far as, from what you're telling me, what the issue is, we don't have facts or proof of these things. So
I didn't have...
If you were tortured at a different facility 3 hours away, you would have to make a complaint.
I did, and they won't take it, and they told me to take it up with my local police. Yeah. It's a revolving door.
Passing the buck.
Yeah, and it sounds like, because these things don't have any evidence to back them up. It's
okay,
a claim
well,
by you.
Again, right now, like I'm recording right
us.
now for this purpose, like I've continuously been told contradictory information, and that is how I am being kept from making any form of report.
Well,
I'm making documentation of it, so when I'm told things weren't said, I can prove they were said.
Perfect.
Fair enough, right?
So, why don't you let me, I already called Brittany. Brittany's going to meet me out
Okay,
here.
she was supposed to have called me days ago.
She's going to meet me out here. I called her.
Yeah,
why don't you let me talk with Brittany and see if there's something I can do to work with the 2 of you to help you get some legal aid.
Yeah, because we asked for that years ago, and Lexi threatened us out of it, and
okay.
I've not even been allowed to file on that within Coleman.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
we
enough.
would greatly appreciate that help. Thank you.
Yeah, let me
Thank you.
see what I can do to help you
I would
with
love
that,
to sit down and talk to you about
because
that for a bit.
It sounds like you are looking for some kind of
Yeah,
legal
we have been for
representation.
2
Been looking for,
years.
like, 2 years.
And I've been threatened by the local bar for trying to report this because, quote, the police don't do that. That's what we've been told by countless officers. I have recordings of this. Quote, police don't do that. And I can pull up a news article that cites all of the major events of crime in Canton involving police misconduct. Surely no, all police don't do that, not even by a stretch, but there are some. And there are some who don't. And there are some who would like to help who are not in a position to do anything with where they're at and what they can see. It sounds like that's what you're telling me about yourself right now, and I believe you. Completely.
Well, if you have a place where we can go and sit and talk, I can start helping you get some of
Shane,
this stuff
could you
together.
get water?
Yeah, I will
And
go get
do you
water.
guys need anything else?
I just need
currently?
you guys' names so that
Yeah, of
I
course.
type up my...
Can you handle that for
my
me while I
part
go
of this.
talk to my dad?
Yeah,
really quickly?
I don't think I need to keep this on any longer. I'll turn it back on if I need.